What's up, everybody? It's Tora back here. Just wanted to do a quick kind of tour of my Sky Factory area so far and what all I've done with it. So, where this teleporter is, or travel anchor, is where the first tree was, and that's kind of where I had my tree farm going on there. In here was the little house I built to do all of my beginning crafting, and I've kind of modified it a little bit to add a little bit of extra storage and have my bed here. Go out to the right here. I've got my smeltery up there on the island. We'll go up and take a look at that. One of the first things I did was my automation. Uh, so far, I've got my coke oven down here. This was where my smeltery was, but once I wanted a larger smeltery, I moved everything up there, and then I now have the coke oven down here for making cloches. I've got my furnace here, my larger furnace, so that I can add a ton of stuff in here. This is just making a bunch of lava to fill my furnace as well as my magmatic generators. My power over here is a little bit overkill, but I've got two magmatic generators, two Stirling generators that are being fed all of the coal that I get, so they constantly have coal in them. And then I've got a 25 million RF and a 5 million RF capacitor bank with two level 5 solar panels attached to them, keeping those fully charged. Got the crusher, sag mill, and atomic reconstructor all attached to these solar panels also for when I want to use them. To kind of go over how my automation is set up, I have two tier 3 cobblestone generators. Those are feeding cobblestone to 6 different lines here. These first two are doing gravel, these next two are doing sand, and these last two are doing dust. So it goes all through these auto hammers to break it all down, to eventually dust on this side, sand on this side, and gravel down there. And then we've got it broken down to a diamond stiffened mesh and a flint stiffened mesh so that we can get as many resources as we can. We've got just regular extra utilities, transfer pipes, going throughout all of these. I originally had transfer pipes going from the sieves to this first chest here, or this first small crate, but I found that it wasn't fast enough. So I went with the Ender IO item conduit, and it's a lot faster. Going into this chest here, I don't have it fully set up nicely yet, but all of this stuff here is just miscellaneous. All of my ores pieces come over to this auto compressor to compress them down, and then from there go into one of these two alloy smelters that are doing the furnace work. Those both melt all of that stuff down and create ingots, and also the black quartz. And then from there, it compresses it into blocks, and the blocks come all the way over here to this chest. And then everything else, like diamond and redstone and prismarine shards, everything like that that can't be smelted, goes into here, turns into blocks of its respective properties, and then feeds into this chest. I had this taking blocks of coal out. Doesn't seem to be taking them specifically anymore, or I'm not getting as much. But then the chest uses an item conduit to then transfer all the way over to this drawer controller, which sorts it all into these drawers. I could set it up a little bit differently now, I just haven't gotten around to it now that I have my refined storage. But if we go under this is where all of the cabling is. I've got all of my enhanced energy conduit going to bottoms of all of my sieves, hammers, and everything. So that's all going through, and it's just feeding off of all of those generators and capacitors. And then this is the pipe that runs from that chest that I showed you all the way over to the drawer controller. This is just a platform for all of that. That way I could get all of that taken care of and make it look nice and neat. Up here we have the smeltery. Put a little window in just so I could see inside of it. I don't really use it much anymore, but I do still have stuff in there. Tried to make it a little bit of a design, and also made it to where it couldn't rain into it. I've just got two crucibles making lava, and I also use this lava if I never need to do something with it. I've got my obsidian generating over here. This is just feeding crucibles with cobblestone to make it into lava. That's all going in here, and then going from here over to these stone barrels. It fills up the stone barrels, and then turns it into obsidian. Transfers the obsidian over into the chest. Found out the hard way with building this platform up here that I needed light to still get through for the solar panels down there. So this is all clear glass and quite clear glass just so that the light could still get down to the solar panels down there. Before I got a jetpack, I was using these travel anchors. They're really handy for getting around my map. It's actually a lot of fun. But let's go back down here. Here we've got a Supremium furnace, which does things at like Mach speed. I think it's 9,000, maybe 1,000. Supremium furnace is 100% faster. I don't have the stuff to make the next tier up yet. The ultimate furnace, which does things 9,000 times faster. Still missing the nether star there. I haven't made wither stuff yet. I've also got a Stirling generator here that is powering my my controller there. Did that wiring down below. I've got two seed reprocessors, which I don't think I really need anymore, and a resonator just in case I need to change anything. I'll show you where I'm getting all of the grid power in a moment. And I've just got a refined storage small setup right now. Got two 64K storage drives and four 1Ks. And it's plenty of storage right now for everything that I have. I've got a chest up here that is feeding everything into my refined storage via the importer. So if I take stuff out, the nice thing about it is I can use this ender pouch that is set up white, just like the ender chest there. And when I open this ender pouch, it actually opens the chest and throws stuff in here, and it just automatically feeds right into my refined storage. So I can do that from anywhere. I've got an experience obelisk that's holding 90 levels for me, along with an anvil and an enchanter. This way I can enchant anything that I want, have my experience right there also. Over here I've got my cloche set up, where I've got all of my goods. These are all just feeding into these drawers. Each one of them has a void upgrade, and then the ones that are getting items have tier. That's not what I want. this upgrade here, which gives it, I believe, 13 times more. But that way I can house as much as I can in these. And all of my seeds are just regular stack limit 8 because I don't need a lot of seeds. Over here is the whole cloche setup. You can use any sort of storage crate or chest or mini chest or anything that you want and just put it on the front of the cloche right where that little square is, and it'll auto take the stuff out of the cloche for you. Back here I've just got a single sink that's giving the water to each one of them. The fronts, these are just item conduits. It's pulling out of every single chest. Just gotta put the essence on the front so I know what it is. Ender essence, that's it. Still got one free cloche. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in it yet, but that one's still empty. All of the rest of these are going with different things. Some of them are food. Most of them are materials that you need for crafting. And then on the top I have one flux point here that's feeding off of the 25 million capacitor bank over there. So I have one here and one over there on that corner, and then these are just solar panel farms. They stay well charged, and the cloches honestly don't take that much. It's just instead of using the enhanced conduit, I used regular energy conduit, so I kind of staggered where I put these so that I had even energy distribution. Over there was a farm where I was growing dirt essence and wheat before I set up all the cloches. This was allowing me to get more dirt as well as a bunch of wheat for doing all of the chicken stuff. Then over here is all of my chicken stuff. I've got a ton of chickens walking around. Currently breeding some chickens to get... This one I think is getting redstone chicken. Supposed to be getting redstone chicken. Isn't yet though. Over here I'm trying to get gas tier chickens. And then all of the chickens that are dropping stuff, I've got an item collector here collecting all of the items, sending it all over to these drawers over here. It's just slowly pulling stuff out of here, sending it over into the drawers. I don't have it set up in any specific way, and I've still got to get some void upgrades for things like the chicken manure and the feathers so that those don't clog everything up. Separated my other animals over here just because them and the chickens were getting a little crowded. Got my squid farm over here. That's just got squid so I can get ink sacs. And then down below we have my 2-story mob spawner. This has got regular spikes in the bottom, along with a few diamond spikes to give me some experience from there. And then on the top floor it's got all iron spikes. All of the stuff in there feeds into this crate, which then sends a bunch of stuff to the loot recycler and a bunch of stuff over to these drawers. This just kind of loots everything here. I'm collecting up the chance cubes. I've got a stack of 64 plus 11. chest down here because I was trying to pipe into it, but found out those were the wrong ender chests. And then all of my loot bags go into these two compacting drawers to take white, green, and blue bags and compress them all the way up to legendary. And then everything from the recycler that's making loot bags gets transferred over into this first one so that those can go into making legendary loot bags also. So I've got 44 legendary loot bags in there. I can hold 208. I don't really see it being an issue. And then over here is the mob chunk thing that I built. I built it out of clear glass just so that I can make sure it was working. One thing that I didn't know is with my refined storage and everything else, I actually started needing grid power to use mechanical users. So each one of these mechanical users is set up with a Solium dagger. And I don't know if you need to fill the other spots or not, but it uses only the upper left slot and left clicks on an entity so that any monster that gets close to it, it just uses the Solium dagger on it. And it does that with each one of them. They're all filled with different things because I used whatever I had in my inventory. And then I've got the 3 mob fans over there that have a height and width addition upgrade set in there. So any mob that spawns in here, it automatically gets thrown against this wall. And mechanical users kill it with the Solium dagger, which gives it a chance of dropping mob chunks. Over here is where I'm getting all of my grid power. I've got 10 total water mills with just one source block of water funneling down it. They don't count source blocks, so you actually need to have the water moving in order to activate it. But these 10 water mills power all of those and the stuff that I have up top, like the resonator and other things that use the grid power. So the nice thing is you don't have to have them set up next to anything like you do with the RF power supplies. These can just be anywhere in your world, so I just threw them down here to kind of keep them out of the way of everything else. The downside to using clear glass is that any torches that you have around, say I put a torch right here, it actually affects the spawning area in there, so I had to kind of fiddle with where I had the torches so that I could make sure that the spawning in there was maximized and the spawning out here was minimized. But I still have Endermen out on the loose doing things for some reason. And then all of the experience that I get from part of this side up with the iron spikes and down with the diamond spikes is all going into here. And then this is all feeding into the experience obelisk, which has 110 levels in it, which is insane. And then a singularity tank, just because it looks cool. So that's my whole mob area over here. Torched up so that nothing spawns on the outside, but stupid Endermen like to teleport outside of it. I put an anti-slime block over here just because I got tired of slimes spawning in this area, but I'm not really sure how effective it's being. I don't know the radius of the anti-slime blocks. I was opening 3x3x3 chance cubes, and one of them spawned a whole village for me. I can put a link to that video of where that happened, so you guys can watch that video if you want. It's in my chance cube unboxing video. But it gave me this whole village, and it was really cool to watch it build it because it was just like a 3D printer doing it layer by layer. I tried putting down slime blocks, or anti-slime blocks to stop slimes from spawning in here, but I need a lot more. And over here I'm actually working on doing another 3x3x3 chance cube. We'll see what that gives us. I had to torch all of this up so I'd stop getting regular monster spawns, and so those wouldn't affect my world. So that's pretty much my world for right now. That's where I've set up. Oh, and my nether portal up here. I don't really have too much in the nether. My nether did spawn as a void, so there wasn't anything in my nether. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with the nether and trying to find another fortress, but I did find another fortress out here. Torched it up a little bit, and I'll have to go through trying to find some spawners in here, but that was a fun video trying to get another quartz chicken so that I could finish my chicken stuff. And I found another quartz and soul sand chicken in there. It just took me a while. But that is my world breakdown as of right now. If you have any questions about it, feel free to message me in the comments and I will get back to you on how I have something set up, how I kind of started out getting all of this stuff done. Definitely recommend these elevators for early game. Once you start getting ender pearls, it makes traveling a lot faster than taking a rope down and up every time. And then these travel anchors are really convenient also. It helped me get around my area a lot faster if I needed to go up here and smelt something real quick, or hop down here and get my farm going and then come over here to the chickens. It's just a lot of easier doing it by these. And I've got my happy clouds for different people that have followed me during stream or interacted with during stream. But yeah, that's pretty much my world so far. It's definitely evolving and getting more. I've still got to get a nuclear reactor. I've got to start wither spawning so I can get nether stars. Then I've got to start making draconium stuff. I haven't even gotten into Botania yet. I'm still working on doing all of the chicken stuff. That's only partially completed. I've just got a ton of chickens here. And I'm slowly breeding them all together to make everything that I want chicken-wise. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you. You can always catch me live on Twitch, or follow me on Twitter, and I'll put those in the description also. But that is the overview of what I have my world being right now. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a message.